Hey everybody, morning. Good morning. How's it going? Infinity coming out on top again. Philip, Everett, Mohammed, Don, Arturo, George, David, Goose. Good morning, Lieutenant Colonel Goose. Valerie, Ed, John. Good to see you. Eric, Swinburne, Donald, Rex, Wade, David, Mark, Larry, Randy, Ted, Julio. Good to see you. Good to see you. How's everybody doing? Pretty good. Another day. Um, Crypto, you know, Bitcoin came up to just shy of $64,000 yesterday, and then um, I I'm not a conspiracy guy, but I can't help but just get this feeling when both Robinhood and Coinbase go down, right when things are getting spicy, that something's amiss, and I don't know. I don't know. Just everything kind of chilled out, slowed down, and then, well, when the ETFs, the spot ETFs rebalanced last night, crypto's right back up, coming back up. We're going to get another big $7,000 day on Bitcoin. I don't know. We got the last 2 days have been 7,100 and 7,450, I think, top to bottom. And pretty crazy. Hey, Rongenberg, glad to see you. Hope you feel better soon. Alan, Rick, Al, Michael, Mark, Merle, glad to see everybody. And I mean, PCE numbers hitting this morning right here, coming in line. Imagine that. I mean, actually popping a little bit. We'll see what happens. I guess market positive on that news. Gold in particular, rocking and higher. And we'll talk about that all here in just a minute. First, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Before I talk about trades or anything like that, past performance not necessarily indicative of future results, because even though I've predicted it in the past, even though I've kind of got my thumb on the market at this point, I could quit getting it right tomorrow. Like, nothing I ever say could come true again. Wouldn't that be a bummer? Would be for me. I like being right. I get lucky a lot. Thank you. This presentation here is intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not a recommendation to buy or sell anything out there. All right. Don't buy stuff from gurus. Don't buy stuff from other people like me. Don't buy stuff from me if you don't trust me. Make sure you trust me. Make sure you agree with the way I do things before you buy stuff. I mean, and don't trade, because it all has a substantial risk of loss. Don't buy stocks, don't buy options, don't buy forex, don't buy cryptos, don't buy futures, don't buy bonds, don't even buy treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them. You can lose money. Maybe how do you lose money trading treasuries? I thought that was just always a pay. Yeah, well, we'll see if that continues to be the case. And if you desire personal financial advice, you need somebody to tell you what to do. That's not what I do. All right. I cannot do that. So make sure you go hire a financial advisor, but make sure you trust them too, because a lot of people out there are just trying to make some of your money, some of their money. And I mean, that's how my mom ended up in the Ponzi. She hired a financial advisor, and he got her into a Ponzi scheme. I don't even know what to say. Don't even know what to say. But water under the bridge. I made that money back. All right. So that's the lay of the land so far today. S5TH, stocks about the 200-day. I don't even know what's going on here. I guess alerts are now floating on. I wonder what that alert was. Oh yeah, I remember now. I'm gonna have to look at that chart here in a few minutes. Yeah. So the big mover, the biggest mover. Look at that. Look at that baby. Continuing to be absolutely ridiculous. You see how it closed the day right there? Look at that, beautiful. And we were down here. We rallied right back up here on the rebalance. If you didn't know, these spot ETFs, go read the prospectus. They have to go buy the crypto each and every day and create baskets. So each night, after the market closes. They're going to work, obtaining that crypto, getting the money moved around, buying the crypto. So that's why we've seen, it seems like every time we come in, we're looking at a rally on Bitcoin compared to the night before. We're getting these huge inflows. People are FOMO. This is serious FOMO right here. I mean, we're not even joking around. This thing is rocketing higher. People are scared, man. We're going to miss out on this potential halving run. Mainstream media, I mean, I got it wrong. You know, I thought we would wait till about 45 days. Here we are, 4 or 5 days early, I guess 9 days early on this thing. We got 50 days left to the halving. We may, this thing may keep going. And as I was talking about yesterday, we're just getting started. Like, I mean, let's talk about it a second, all right? In a different way. Now, if you didn't watch yesterday, you weren't here yesterday, you can let me know in the chat. But for months and months and months, maybe an entire year, I said, when these Bitcoin spot ETFs get approved, they're going to soak up an estimated 10 to 15% of the liquid Bitcoin. All right? Total supply of Bitcoin is 21 million. The liquid supply of Bitcoin, and there's 19.6 million of them out there that you could go potentially buy. Potentially. Now, out of the liquid supply, there's probably only maybe 6 million that are actually liquid. So we're going to see, I mean, we may even see more than 10 to 15% of that liquid supply get soaked up by these SPY ETFs. It's going to push Bitcoin potentially much higher. We could see an outsized move. Typically, from the low to the high on a halving run, just because of the scarcity of the creation of Bitcoin, we see a 10 to 20x increase in price. And the low on this cycle was 15,000. So the high, that 10x would be 150,000. 20x would be 300,000. We could see this outperform. So, and we may never have a dip that's much of a dip. Now, the halving event itself is not bullish. It's the reaction after the halving event. And so there, I mean, and remember, there's no centralized exchange. This is just CoinMarketCap's price. You wonder what site this is on, CoinMarketCap. And so those spot ETFs soaking up this, probably going to represent more than 10% of this. And this market cap is going to keep pushing higher. We could see this top out in total market cap in crypto. We topped out at 3 trillion, just right at it before. We could easily see 6 to 10 on an extension. And this just works the same way I do the fibs all the time. And we could see 3.5, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. We went super crazy. 15, that'd be bigger than gold. Gold hanging out right around 10 to 12 trillion. Wouldn't that be crazy? Morning, sir. Morning, General Rush. Glad to see you. And the FOMO is going to continue. People, it's not just institution. Goose, I mean, he says institutional FOMO, but really, it's not necessarily institutions. I mean, this ETF thing opened up a way that is clear for everybody to, like, for whatever reason, you could buy Bitcoin exposure in your IRA before, but now it's being sown YouTube wide, mainstream media wide, that now you have an easy way to add Bitcoin exposure in your IRA. So what's happening? People are dumping money into these IRAs, these spot ETFs like crazy. And what do the spot ETFs do each night? They don't have all this supply sitting here waiting to sell it to people. They soak up the money into their, into their ETF, and then they go create baskets. They have creation baskets. And to do those creation baskets, they have to buy Bitcoin each and every night. And so that's each night when we rebalance, that's why the price keeps rocketing higher after the market closes in the US right now. We're seeing that those creation baskets. Right somewhere. 8 billion assets under management. And if we go to IBIT, let's see. Required, whatever. Sponsor fee, performance. There we go. That's what I was looking for. They've already got 2.48 million shares outstanding. They create, as people buy, they create more shares. That's the way creation baskets and ETFs work. And it's not like they dilute it. And there's the basket. A basket is 1.3 million as of February 28th. There you go. You wonder, basket Bitcoin amount. Each basket they create is 22.79 Bitcoins. So each basket they create, they buy 22.79 Bitcoins. You didn't know how this worked. Now, they're not all the same. There's 11 different ones, and they all do it a little different. The baskets are different sizes. Their creation system is different. So you should read the prospectuses. I read 3 of them and was like, all right, that's enough of that. You have hundreds of pages of junk. So, and they talk about how liquidation would work if they needed to liquidate. So if you haven't read a prospectus and you've picked one of these and you've got money invested in it, you should go to the page and click the prospectus button and go read it. All right. They actually talk. 116 pages right here of how they're going to manage this thing. And right down in here, they talk about how the creation baskets work and all that sort of stuff. All right. Sponsor, the trustee, the manager. You wonder where the costs come in. All this junk has costs. And the trust issues and redeems shares in baskets of 40,000. So when 40,000 new shares get bought, they got to create a basket. A basket's 22.79 Bitcoins. So there you go. And this is just Bitcoin. This for right now, they're a single point source investment. Only Bitcoin. They're only holding. Bitcoin, Bitcoin and cash. There you go. How much they got? Got 151,536.25 Bitcoins. And they had $166,000 in cash. Right there. Now, ETFs work the same way with stocks. Like if you want to go buy SPY, they have a creation basket. When so many shares are bought, they'll go buy stocks in the creation basket in the certain proportion that they outline in the prospectus. If you've never read one of these before, you take a little bit of time, set it aside. It's probably put you to sleep kind of reading, but you should know what you're trading. All right. Why do I shy away from ETFs? Because of these prospectuses and the management. A lot of times, that's not the game I want to play. Like there's There's instances where they could redeem SPY. Like they could just end it. Is it very likely? No. Could they do it? Yeah. It's spelled out in the prospectus when they would, the conditions present in the market where they would terminate SPY. It's pretty wild when you think about it. And so there you go. And you can see the chunks of Bitcoin right there. 4,000, 3,500, 1,200, 950, 250, 45. They bought those chunks. And that was just recently. So this BlackRock here is more transparent. Why did I use this as the example? Because they are very transparent on what they've done and the holdings. Some of the other ones are not very transparent at all. If you go look at I think it's Burr, BRRR. If you go look at their prospectus and their management page, not very transparent at all. So, but here we go. Here we go. We're going to launch again. SPY. Like I said, for a few days now, I kind of suspected we're going to go tag that 5150 area before we get any kind of major reaction. Churn it down a little bit. No premium for most of the premium harvesting trades I like because we're just floating up here. The S5FI continues to be lackluster. The stocks above the 200-day continues to be lackluster. We're just sitting here, just hovering. Stocks above the 20-day. So we may see this pop one more time and then roll. So maybe I should set an alert here. If we get the stocks above the 20-day pop up here, that may be what we're needing before we roll again. So ES overnight was lackluster until that PCE number came out, and then we got Sparky. Not too shabby. We may spike up there and hit that. We came up about $40 shy, 40 points shy, however you want to say it. Back here a few days ago. Maybe we're ready to go spike it. That could be the last spike too, though, for a little while. NASDAQ, nice big spike. 18.4. My upside target there, right up here. Look for that to go. Those two may do it together. And Russell, look at that craziness. Blasting off. Hit my alert at 2:0 IWM. Now, if you're like, JT, what the heck? ES, NQ, I've never even heard of these before. That's the futures, all right? ES is the futures for the S&P 500. NQ, futures for QQQ. Russell here, RTY, futures for IWM. That's your small caps. That's how I keep a pulse on the market between these three indexes here. Why not the Dow? Because it's so manufactured. So many correction factors and bullcrap factors and whatever. I don't think it factually represents anything in the market. So I watch these things. S&P broad market, kind of broad brush, 500 companies, kind of give you a big feel of how the economy's running and, not really, the economy's not the stock market, but, broad brush across the economy on all the companies. We're not specialized in anything. NASDAQ is kind of like the best of the best. That's the 100 best companies, basically. 14 out of the last 15 years, NASDAQ's been up. And then Russell is your small caps. That's your little companies, your regional banks, your crypto miners. All that stuff's kind of in IWM here. So IWM popping, made a new high. Look at that, just barely. Squeaking out a new high. We may pop 207. So all this corrective action we've done so far kind of now invalidated with that higher high. And we're looking for this thing to roll over. Now, could that be a B wave high? Yeah, it could. That could be the C wave. Still unclear. That's very choppy and overlapping. This high, overlap with this low, this high, overlap on that low, and that high. I mean, look at how the lows and the highs all overlap. That's not any kind of impulsive price action for continuation higher. Very cautious. Very, very, very cautious on my small caps here. 207 probably be the highest I expect. And I'm going to put a alert right there. Just so I got it. Moving on here. Oil did not break out yesterday. I was warning yesterday morning, if we slammed it back down, that's exactly what happened. I was very skeptical that we were going to get a close out yesterday, and we didn't do it. So back in the box, or back in the wedge. I don't know how long we stay in there, but one of these days we're going to pop out, and we keep softening up the top. So I'm starting to give a little probability that we're going to pop up. A little higher probability. So you may consider an initial position on something like USO, UCO, or a long. I've just kind of been sitting, waiting, kind of liquidated mine back here, my long, when we were pushing out the bottom, and I've just been sitting, waiting. Sitting, waiting. So I'm super cautious. This would be an extreme aggressive position at this point. But we may be winding up to pop, and it could go fast. It could go up there in like a day or 3. So gold, nice big pop. Nice big fat pop. We have the resistance all the way up here. Nice big fat pop on that PCE data. So looking for this to break out. The next resistance is right up here. Let's just do this. Right there. Need to break above that. Then we got to get above that. And then we got to get above that. So right now we have lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Got to start making higher highs if we're going to get continuation higher on gold. And if you didn't know, CL, that's oil, GC, that's gold. How do you trade those? Well, like for oil, you can trade USO, you can trade UCO. That's a leverage way to play. For gold, you can trade GLD and all the other gold ETFs there are. There's GLD has a high management fee compared to, I can't remember the other one. It escapes me at the moment. But different ways to play. Bitcoin, probably going to push through 64. We could see this pop an all-time high in the next day, or I mean, it could happen today. We may pop a new all-time high. The FOMO is real, and we've got 50 days until the halving. This thing can run and be irrational for days. There's 35 on Ethereum. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Expecting that next, if we can actually get some get some mojo going on Ethereum, we could see 6,000, possibly 7,000. Shoot. High levels up there. Whew. 7,300. Beautiful. Beautiful potential. I'm riding my core position on both of those. Dollar and GLDM. That's it. Thank you, Francois. GLDM. So, back to talking about ETFs. Check this out. Look at that has a discount in NAV. Goose, we've been talking about that. Look at the expense ratio here. 0.1, right? You want to hold gold, 0.1 expense ratio, long term. GLD, look at this. 0.4. You're going to pay 4 times more money for them to take care of you on GLD as if you just went to GLDM. So if you want long-term exposure to GLD, go buy some GLDM. Right there. All right. Everybody understand that? The expense ratios get divided by 365 and taken out every day when they rebalance. When they do that basket creation rebalance thing, they take their expense fee out every single day, whether that's Bitcoin, whether it's IBIT, no matter what it is. They take their expense ratio right there, take their 0.12% of IBIT, divided by 365, that 0.00 whatever it is, they take that, they multiply that money by the value of the fund, and move that money over to BlackRock's management account every single day. That's another reason why ETFs make me like cringe a little bit, especially the ones that like, look at this one. 1.85 expense ratio. But for a short-term pop, I mean, look at that baby go. BitX, you want to buy some, you want to be in Bitcoin for this FOMO, and you don't want to go open a crypto account, right here. 2x leverage. You can just buy a few shares. 2x leverage right there. This one doesn't pay a dividend. BITO pays a dividend. This one has an expense ratio of 0.95. And you're like, hey, my trading view doesn't show this. Right? Well, first off, you need the info, which you got to turn on like the info over here. And then second off, you got to expand it to show you all the key technicals. I think there's like little expansion buttons, and then you roll down and you can look at all these, and you can go get more technical data and blah, 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 blah. You know, there's a wealth of information that you can find out in here. So, all right. Hopefully this has been valuable information. If you like any of this, please give me a like on the video, a thumbs up, and let me know in the chat if anything's super helpful, because I'm trying to cater information to what you want to know. Sometimes you don't know what you don't like. You don't know what you don't know, right? Sometimes you don't know to ask. But if this is the kind of information that you find beneficial and helpful, let me know. I'll talk more about it. These are just things I know, I've learned over 20, well, it's been a long time. I started in 3rd grade, amassing this knowledge of the stock market. And I've probably forgotten more than I even realize. So, dollar still churning in the zone. Still churning. Sitting right on the roadmap line. If we bust below this zone, probably going down to the mid-90s. If we pop out of here, break above this high from just a couple weeks ago, probably heading on up to 109. Dun, 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 dun. MSTR, look at that. Going for that 272 target. Up there at 1090. That's so crazy. I was out yesterday at 950. If you're still in it, good luck. Be careful. We're nearing a potential top. Could it go higher? Sure. Sure as shoot. But remember, the all-time high right up here, 1300. This one did not make a higher high in November when Bitcoin made a higher high. We are already above that point where Bitcoin made its highest high. MSTR made a lower high. Remember, this is not Bitcoin. Be careful. All right, be careful. We're going to get another pullback. We got one here. We got one here on the 2 prior spikes. This one's getting a little out there. The 272 may prove to be a resistance once again, and we may see this pull back very violently. Things moving today. Duolingo. Look at that. Jamming and bamming. Bamming and jamming. Jamming. I'm just going to remove all the drawings. 2.2 high to low right there. This is a potential entry. Looking for 265, 291 on the upside on further expansion. Maybe like, not sure. Yeah, this needs to have a positive close. If we break down back down low here, don't trade it. Don't jump it early. Wait for the daily close. AVGO, if it just launches off. That's cool. It wasn't an opportunity to jump into. AVGO probably needs a big retrace, but not today. OKTA was popping pre-market and still popping right up through. Sometimes these things are completely nuts. Yeah. I mentioned once, I don't know if that was yesterday. 1, 2, 3, 4, and popping. Now we're right up to this resistance. Get above that and sets this up to potentially go on a run back up into the mid 200s. So I would watch for another retrace, or watch for another reaction, negative reaction there. If we can get above here and close up here, it'd be an opportunity to go long. I would definitely want to see another retrace, but may not get it for a while. It may be well on up here before we get another retrace. SMCI continues to be stupid. It was on the poppers list this morning. It was dropping after the market closed and then popping on PCE data. This is not a, all right, this is a company that companies buy computers from. Not necessarily, I don't think most of us at home are ever going to buy a computer from SMCI. Not necessarily a personal consumer expenditures situation, although they do count corporations as people, I guess. However that works. NVIDIA popping, of course, but not making a higher high. Very curious. This could be signaling a top. Now, we could do a prolonged consolidation like we did back here. Prolonged consolidation. Look how long it consolidated. We could do that again. We could prolong consolidation out through the summer even. NVIDIA doesn't have to go anywhere anymore. Netflix. Watch out for that one. Oh man, I got a chart. Check this out. Check this out. Hold on. Let me find this chart. I gotta show you. Just these names made me think of this. Here we go. Look at this right here. Here's the relative performance. Bitcoin. You think Bitcoin's being crazy. Look. NVIDIA. SMCI. Relative performance for the last 1 year. Why do I think SMCI is coming back to earth? You tell me. Rejoining these down here, this is a level of crazy, and this is a whole different level of crazy. All right. So, just to put it in perspective. All right. Netflix probably needs a retrace, but we could grind it on up to the all-time high up here around 700. SOXX, if NVIDIA gives up a little bit, SOXX is really going to give it up. And SOXL, the leverage one, probably going to outsize with the 3x leverage on there. LABU, 3x on biotechs. If we're going to go up, 220. If not, we're going to come back down, retest this breakout line probably. This is a very classic pattern we've seen. We even saw this on the S&P where we popped up, retraced, pop out, retrace, and go. And you're like, JT, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, let's zoom back to a land a little bit further away. Look right here. See that same pattern? Dun, 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 dun. Pop up, pull down, pop out, retrace, and then go. It's a very classic breakout pattern when we're reversing the trend right there. All right. So watch for that on LABU. We may, since we popped up, we retraced. May retrace again. Then that 3-day roadmap line up there, right around the target. So JNL, not enough chart to do anything with. PSTG, nice pop. Pure Storage. I guess personal consumer expenditures are up, so people are going to need storage to put that crap in they buy, right? I guess that's the play. That little pullback at the 1618. Watch for another pullback. AI popping a little bit. Hey, this one could go on another run. If it does, that was a measured bounce. Potential upside 71. 61, 71, 80. Coin. Coin working, grinding its way right up here. The outage yesterday was kind of cringe on coin. If you didn't know, we had an outage. It's like status.coinbase.com right here. They've still got some problems. Still got problems. Got the PLA smart contract having problems. Poly had problems yesterday. They were having all sorts of problems. You can see right here, they say they have resolved it. This is what I was mentioning. Conveniently, this happened right when Bitcoin was going a little nuts. So, if you want to see what I said about SPY or SPX, just pull the slider back. The timeline here, you can just rewind a second. It's instantly recorded on YouTube. That's where I am. I'm on YouTube. I was pulling a blank. Anyway, so there you go. I'm a wealth of knowledge and experience. Paid dearly for a lot of that experience too. ALB probably coming up to the roadmap line, and we'll see what the test is. We have the downtrend line above that. That's a lot of resistance to get through. Prior high, prior consolidation, ALB not looking like a reversal yet. Further downside targets potentially. We'll see. XOM, and maybe this is a ploy to beat this down so that XOM can acquire them or do some sort of deal for their lithium plays. It looked kind of like a Head and Shoulders though, and if that was the Head and Shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder. Everybody see it more clearly now. If that was the deal, could be looking for a target down here. That'd be pretty major. Yeah, maybe more on the exponential scale, which we may have already played out. Let's see. Pretty dang close. Pretty dang close. That one may play out more like that, and we may get one more flush. Like I say, sometimes you got to put them on an exponential scale, especially when they're moving more than $50 just to make sense out of it. So that would be a more reasonable bottom right there around 80 to 90. CRH continues to be crazy. Next fib up, $90. CRWD, lithium the mineral, for lithium the batteries. Apple Marble is a you gotta go read about it. Just Google it. XOM, ALB, ExxonMobil, and Apple Marble, however you say it. CRWD, I expect a retrace at some point. EETH. If you want an Ethereum ETF, this is what we got right now. This is a strategy on futures. Expense ratio 0.95. They do pay a dividend also, although not very consistently, it looks like. And just keeps pumping. So would I recommend this one? Shoot, no. All right. You can just go, look, open a Tasty Trade account and buy Bitcoin and Ethereum. You're like, just buy it straight. You can just, like, they let you hold it right in your brokerage account. You just click the button for the works with crypto. You can just hold it right alongside everything else. You don't even have to go to a crypto account. Super easy. Super easy. ENPH. Now, if you're like, well, how do I do that in my IRA? Different story. Not so easy. EMPH right there. Possibly going to break higher. It's kind of like the bounce up. 208 potential. Actually has my interest at the moment. I'm going to set an alert. I may pick up a position on that, shooting for that 200 area. That's a really nice potential. Look at that, 128 to 200. I may just buy some shares. Really nice potential on that one. DPST, like, I'm not sold that we're going higher. That's a lower high. That's why I'm very cautious about this. But the potential here for this to reverse, very interesting. I'm going to have to look at that one more closely. DPST. This is 3x leverage on banks. Be careful on leverage. Right there. Not going anywhere. Definitely came down to the target already. Found support. Initial move up. Looks like initial move up, retrace. Initial move up, retrace. Kind of nested. If we get a pop back up here, we're probably going on a run. Now the caution here, the emergency lending facility that they set up a year ago, it's coming to an end. Like, they're going to discontinue the emergency lending facility. And last time I saw numbers, we were still had almost $60 billion worth of money borrowed from that to help these regional banks. So are we going to have an anniversary problem with banking? Quite possibly, as that emergency lending facility comes to an end here in the next week or so. Caution is advised. This could break down and return to lows if we saw more banking issues crop up. NTNX. It's a packaged software, all-time highs, right at it. Could go on extension 75 up there. ANET just keeps being ridiculous. Little pullback that can extend us on up a little bit more. 303, 317. JANX, that's a biotech. Pharma, be careful. That one can just crush back down. Children's Place. Talk about some volatility. Whew. It's like a heartbeat after being dead. Can we pop a breakout? I would want to see a breakout above this if we're going to go. Otherwise, watch out below. This can just keep on going down. Found support conveniently in the 618. If we get below there, though, watch out below. 0 comes a real option. Yeah, 78 cents, 71 cents. Becomes a real option that we may go to 0. Sterling check, no idea what they do. Data processing services, pop, but they've been doing nothing while the whole market's been rallying. Don't expect much out of that. It's just a choppy sideways garbage mess with lots of upside resistance. AMRC looks like a hot dumpster fire of a chart, even though they're popping off the bottom. Golly, man, don't mess with it. When you look up a chart and you see the roadmap line pointing down, just expect it to continue. All right? Wait, like a reversal will show up and give you an opportunity if it's going to be something that's good to get into. I'll probably talk about it. Not all the things, but I'll probably find it and talk about it if it's a good opportunity. Otherwise, just stay the fork away. Like, look at that. Breaking above. Probably going to move on up to 90 and find the longer term resistance over here. And I haven't dividend adjusted. There's your resistance right there. RNA. Just choppy sideways when it's a biotech. I don't like biotechs because FDA approvals, FDA denials, they just make the thing jump and it's unpredictable. Sometimes it gives you a clue, but most of the time not. Elf Beauty, the one that got away right there. That's reminds me of Wronger's fish stories. The one that got away right there. Could have gone higher. I didn't buy enough time. Straight up. I should have bought shares. Didn't do it. And took a loss on something that did exactly what I thought it was going to do. CVNA. Popped right up in there. Watch for resistance and a retrace. It could use it. It could climb on up. 9,700. 108. 123. 140. Could keep going, but watch out. It probably needs a retrace back down in this area before we go again. IWM. Watch the resistance at 207. ARM. Watch the retrace. It's probably going to come. I'm just saying. Tesla trying to fill the gap from earnings. Trying. Gap right there. Till it does that, till it gets above that, that's the resistance right there. Then the resistance is the roadmap line up here. You want the roadmap line. You want that line that I keep referring to. Link is in the description. Just click the more button. We're running a $5 sale right now. And if you want to know all the things I do, I had a link yesterday. I think it's jeffreytrader.com/inquire. If you are interested in everything I do, jeffreytrader.com/inquire. This is the TTL group application. If you're interested in that, it is expensive, but many people saying it pays many times over. So FSLR, that's not nearly as bullish as ENPH looks. If we get below this, these lows right here are probably going down to 116. BTCO, that's Bitcoin ETFs being crazy. That one, let's see. Expense ratio on that one. They don't even have it right now. I guess 0 for now. And assets under management, you can see significantly smaller than IBIT. 357 million versus IBIT's 8 billion. And then EDU. Potential upside target up here. Downside target down here. And be careful. MNST, Monster. Hey, Monster. Right there. That's I don't like hot liquids, so I drink Monsters in the morning. And potentially gonna break out of this. Monster should sponsor me. Anyway, I'd wear a hat. Yeah. I got a new computer yesterday. They sent me a hat. I can't see the logo very well. That's Puget Systems. That's the second computer I've bought from them. And they sent me a free hat in the box with the computer. I guess when you buy a $6,000 computer, you may be like, JT, what the fudge, man? You could have gone to Best Buy and bought one a lot cheaper. Yeah, but it was a top of the line i9 14900K with 128 gigs of RAM and a 4080 GPU, 4080 Super GPU. It's the stuff I needed something with a little more horsepower to run my AI model or trying to teach it to trade the market. So, yeah, the company right here. Dun, 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 dun. You see the logo right there? Yeah, so there you go. Content creating. Huh, that's what I do. Engineering. Huh, that's what I do. Scientific computing. Huh. Look at that. All the things right there. All in the ad. So this is if you want a good machine, I went with one of these in a mid tower. Right there. You can see that's before you juice it up. So got to get the big RAM. That's juicing it up already. Got to get more GPU. Got to get the 900K. Adds up. So there you go. Nice computers. I've never had a problem with their computers at all. I've been running one for 6 years. The last one I bought from them 6 years ago, and never ever had a single problem. And they warranty everything. So, pretty sweet. So MNST, they ought to sponsor me. AMD, oh, popping it, about to pop a new high. So upside resistance at 193, then 200, 220, and then one of these days we're gonna roll. Be careful. ARC B, let's see, they've got almost 2 billion, so they're about a quarter the size of IBIT, BlackRock's. There's another Bitcoin ETF run by ARC. SMH needs a retrace. Snow, no. Who said that snow was probably going down? Anybody remember? Did I trade it? No. Am I trading it yet? No. I want this to come down here, make a lower low. It may not. It may just hold the roadmap line and do an extension. Your first clue would be a break back above the 220 area here. DAVA going down in a blaze of glory. Next support down there around 37, which it got pretty darn close to. The support below that down around 25. FNGU got a little pullback. Like to see more, probably on snow and CC. Oh my goodness, look at that. Why do you avoid stuff that's sideways choppy? Because of that. Went from 28 yesterday, 29 yesterday, down to 16 today. I mean, this is why I don't trade stuff on the choppy sideways list. That's a 50% loss right there. 43% loss. Don't trade that stuff. There's another nice big fat drop. Probably going to a lower low. MDB. Probably coming back down to the roadmap line. Watch the uptrend of the lows here. We break below that. We're probably going deeper. Coming back to the roadmap probably. Then we'll see what happens. ARGX. Probably another biotech pharma. You know, biomedtech pharma. Biopharma medtech. Ugh. I don't like those charts. Even like JT, why don't you get into Lilly? Because it's pharma, biopharma, NVO. Even though they're huge opportunities, still pharma. I just don't like it. Doesn't mean you can't make tons of money. I just DV. Wow, talk about wrong color candles. Look at that. Holy moly! Like green candle, green candle. Who wants to bet we're going down again tomorrow? I'm betting short sellers attack the crap out of that one. NARI. Oof. Oof. There's your med tech going down, churning towards zero. IRWD. All these things that were popping now dropping. SDGR. Schrodinger. Does Schrodinger exist if you're not looking at the chart? What comes up? This is classic. What went up to the 686 almost, right back down. This is a cautionary chart for SMCI and lots of other things. I bet we push lower. We did a measured bounce potential, but this is starting to indicate that we're going to flush it on down to 12. CELH. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. 75, 82. Maybe they would sponsor me. I don't know. I don't drink Celsius's. You don't sell them at Sam's Club. One member did send me a case of Celsius. I do appreciate that. Almost drank them all. It's not that they're not tasty. Just I like Monsters. BBWI. I was very flattered that somebody sent me energy drinks, and then Svenborn, got me a Monster when he was here too. It's so cool when people buy me the stuff I like. It's just cool. Anyway, BBW, Bath and Body Works. Looks like we're getting close to breakout. 55, 62. Hey, something's got to get this old guy going in the morning. I'm not that old. Just joking. I'm young. Birkenstock Holdings. So IPOs, this one IPO'd not too long ago. IPOs are not bullish. And we did make a low here, but this 3-wave move. Look at this. We may see a pop up here. This is likely to make a lower low. I'm willing to bet. Old. Yeah, got Kimberly laughing now. I just don't self-start in the morning. I actually take vitamins that have caffeine, plus the Monster, plus I drink a glass of ice water to get my thermogenics going. And FERG, KLIC. So I figured out what I'm gonna give. I think it was Scott who guessed my shoes the other week. We're gonna give him the first Morning Monster Mega Mug. Click Industries. Now the second, I got a good one. So unless I've told you, so this excludes my family and maybe a couple friends. So unless I've told you what concert I went to as my first concert ever, the first person that guesses this, and you can leave a comment down below, or we're gonna take guesses on YouTube for the next few days. I'm not even gonna give you a hint, except that it was in the early 90s. Popular in the early 90s. First concert I ever went to, and it's a single word answer. So that's as much as I'm going to give you. Single word answer. And so you guys guess it, you'll get the second Morning Monster Mega Mug. So we're gonna start producing these Morning Monster Mega Mugs. So, and it's not Tool and not Share. It's probably, I'll be surprised if somebody guesses it right off. So Johnny Cash is a 2-word answer. And Click is sideways. SWIN. Right up to the roadmap line. Finding resistance. Mara was on the biggest losers list. Ooh, I might get put shares. I sold the 26s. Needed another retrace, actually. We went up to the 1272. And we're right back at the 618 again. Nested measure bounce. Be careful. Yeah, nobody's even on the right track. Not even in the right genre. SHLS. Probably going to push lower. Nope. Nobody's even in the right genre. Y'all obviously don't know what music was popular with kids in the early 90s. Remember, I was a young dude. I was in middle school. I was in middle school. And $9. Yeah, I was a weirdo. Big nerd. So if you're thinking popular music, probably not. Anyway, but you gotta think top 40 from the 90s. But back to the roadmap line. Beautiful. 67, 69 on the upside. I'd like to see that because that would be a breakout. Finally, from the highs back here. Still long on that one. If we break down back below this level here, I'm going to be kind of bummed out. If we break back down to that box. Such a beautiful potential setup. I'd like to see it go. The intern and I were talking about this yesterday, that this is a big measured bounce, smaller measured bounce, and then setting it up again inside here. Definitely like to see this get going. Could come down here. Don't really want to see that again, but huge upside opportunity on Bud. Long term, very long term. Look how long this has taken to work its way out of this bottom from back here in 2020. Move up, retrace, move up, retrace, move up, retrace. This could go on a mega run for a long time. Could. Doesn't have to. Could be fatal. Anyway. All right. Don't see anybody guessing the right answer, so I'll let y'all keep thinking about it. We'll come back to it tomorrow. So, bias for the day. Bias for the day. Bias for the day. I think we may pop that 5150. Turn a little sour, though. So, we could just come up short of the 5150. I think we're going to hit it, but maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Future's still pretty green. S&P, only a little bit green. And yeah, I see no correct answer. So it was a very popular. I don't know if you call it band or group or whatever, or person. I don't know. Anyway, very popular. Early 90s, not late 90s. So there you go. I got into alternative music in the late 90s. There you go. That's the bias for the day. And I'll leave it with you to keep guessing. Come back tomorrow. We'll see if anybody finds it. So leave me a comment down below, and I'll see you later.